Hello, love. We're going to talk a little bit today about the wounded healer, the archetype of the wounded healer. If you're familiar in astrology with the asteroid Chiron, that is the epitome of the wounded healer. I'm not going to get into the details of that. If you feel called to, check that out for yourself. But this is going to be a message about the idea of the wounded healer and the witch work of healing that connected to the witch wound. Okay? Yeah, I know. It's a lot to take in for the moment, but I feel that I mean, what's not a lot to take in these moments now, right? So I'm asking for guidance around healing the wounded healer, specifically related to the idea of the witch wound, because there is a lot of witch wounding collectively. And if you identify or resonate, and this is the thing, let me be really super clear here. The witch wound is a collective wound, okay? And it specifically relates to the concept of being persecuted for what you believe in. This is the energy that I'm coming forth with in this reading, specific to having to hide what you believe in, hiding your true self for fear of being excommunicated, for fear of being taken out of the equation by the people in your own community, by your family even. This is a wound that goes very deep into the fabric of our beings. And it's not just if you identify as a witch or not, or if you, come from a lineage of witches, for example, whatever. It goes even deeper than that, all right? It's also not specifically related here to just women as well. Even though when we look at historically, the use of the word witch, that's 99% of the time connected to a woman, right? Which has to do with the subjugation and persecution of women in history. That's a whole other area, right? What I really want to focus on here is this idea of excommunication, of the fear of being excluded from a group because you believe a certain thing. So this is probably going to resonate a lot for you if you identify as a light worker, as a starseed, as an empath, as someone, as a healer, okay, who from this fear of being excommunicated from the group, you are unable to heal yourself. That's the wounded healer. Being able to, and this is going to, again, really resonate for people who are empathic and who identify as empaths, because you can feel a lot of collective wounding or hurt or pain in others and are able to help others, but you cannot help yourself. You have a blockage. There's some sort of this unwillingness to be able to receive healing for yourself from yourself. And the crazy thing is that this can become an actual way of living. You become so used to it because of the way that we have been conditioned, right? To think that a healer is always a wounded healer. A healer can't be someone who can actually heal themselves first and have their cup full first before they go out healing other people. And I want to add real quickly here, saying that the capacity to heal others begins with the capacity to heal yourself. You may be an amazing healer already and still feel conflicted about being able to heal yourself and give yourself your own self-love. Can you imagine the capacity to which you'd be able to heal if you healed yourself first? You'd be able to like triple it, quadruple it, 100 times it, a gazillion times it. All right? So I'm asking through the Rider-Waite-Smith through Pamela's deck. I've also been called to ask through the Work Your Light Oracle and the Starseed Oracle as well, as I feel a lot of light workers and starseeds are going to resonate with this too, through two of my spirit guides who wanted to step forth and really give this message. So starting with the bottom of the deck here, we had Temperance in reverse. This is healing asking to happen, okay? These are the underlying energies going into this reading. Temperance is the card of healing, especially when it comes to the kind of bridge between the unconscious and the conscious. And this could also be a message of when we are overindulging in something in order to avoid healing. So we're like right off the bat, like overeating, a sweet tooth, like having like a sweet sugar addiction. That's what I'm trying to say. When we, have a glass of wine every night, because it just, it helps us to just unwind, okay? Here's the thing. And again, I'm saying this with no judgment, okay? Trust me, I've been there. I know what that's all about. On my own journey, what I've come to understand is that having that little, there's a moth flying right outside my window. Yeah, wanting to give this message through for sure. This is about shadow work, baby. So having, that one glass of wine in the evening at night, just to kind of, like a little panacea, a little placating. That's the word that comes to mind here. What it does is it essentially numbs you out, okay? And alcohol, and I know this is like even kind of difficult for me to admit, I'm being completely honest here, because I was somebody who, a long time ago, that was my jam, baby. It actually lowers your vibration, okay? When you numb out to something, but this is the crazy thing with alcohol, okay? If you read any of Eckhart Tolle's stuff, you'll know. When he talks about the pain body, he actually says that to a certain extent, we're kind of fortunate, take this how it's going to resonate for you, that we have drugs and alcohol in society, because if we didn't have those things, we wouldn't actually be able to deal with the pain body. Now, this is obviously talking about before you get into that stage of consciousness, to understand that that's what you're doing. A lot of people will do this unconsciously. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I pulled one card, and this is the card that came out, baby. The Emperor, number 4. So right off the bat, this is about stepping into your power and being grounded. This is holding you back from stepping into your power and being grounded. This also has to do, when you're coming from a witch wound perspective, this can be a very triggering image. Let's just recognize that for a moment here. This is the authority figures that were in place at the time, that to a certain extent still are, that try to disconnect us from our inner sovereignty and our power and control us through fear and manipulation. This is essentially the thing that needs to be healed. And it is energetic. This is the crazy thing, okay? This, when you face this and understand that this Emperor here is just another soul who is trying to, who wants love, just like any soul does, right? Because every being, every entity, every soul is a part of source. And a lot of what we need to do when we are healing these things for ourselves is understand that the wrongs that have been done to us have come from a place of unconsciousness, from a soul that really, when you grind it down to the deepest, the finest, grainest, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but the finest fractal, the finest little bit of light is there, right? So essentially, this is about transmuting these energies through an understanding of consciousness and where it was at that particular time in history, and in the people that you are actually even, interacting with on a day-to-day in this now moment. So there's kind of a couple of images, there's two kind of flip side images coming through here, but essentially that's what this is all about. You have to take the authority for yourself of that first step into self-love. You need to be your own emperor. This not controlling you anymore. This external emperor, this concept of an emperor outside of you, does not have power over you. Only you can give that power, okay? So, 2 cards jumped out of the Work Your Light Oracle. We had Leap. This is all about having faith, taking the first step, that jump, right? Knowing that when you jump, Spirit will have you. This may be a specific message for you, depending on what you practice spiritually, if you're a person of faith, etc., to really just soak into that, right? It's there to help you. The universe will catch you. That's what it says here. You go first. The universe will catch you. I love the imagery of the moon there too. Again, divine feminine energy coming through here to embrace you and nurture you. And then we had Anna, grandmother of Jesus. This is an activation card. I'm going to read it for you. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. You are part of a divine plan. And when you do not take responsibility for yourself and your own healing, you are not allowing yourself to fully step into that divine plan. So take a look at this image. Put your hand over your heart as I read this to you, if you feel called to, of course. Beloved Anna, thank you for laying the foundations for the divine plan. May the seeds of light within me be revealed, and may I surrender to my part of the divine plan. Just beautiful. Okay. And finally, we had Messenger come up through the Starseed Oracle. There is an inquiry here that I'm going to read to you before I just quickly get into these messages. How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or the planet? How are you being called to honor the sacred masculine and feminine within you? Syrian energy. This could be a specific message to some of you who identify starseeds, right, as well. Or for those of you who have Syrian spirit guides of confirmation coming through here. Being that messenger, bringing harmony into balance. This is about balancing divine feminine and divine masculine energy. We had that image of the moon come up here. I feel like these two really resonate, okay? So this is a specific message of integrating the divine feminine and divine masculine within you. Going back to the emperor here, okay? So those, essentially, this is about addressing the wounded masculine in this, again, lower vibrational, dysfunctional emperor energy, right? This is about integrating that with the divine feminine and the divine masculine tendencies as well. So healing the wounded feminine through that witch wound, that wounded healer, healing the wounded masculine, integrating these two things, okay? At the bottom of the deck for the Starseed Oracle, we had deep cellular healing. There's an activation for this as well that I want to read for you. So you can take a moment here to look at the image, put your hand over your heart, and listen. I take back my vitality and energy and feel more and more healthy each and every day. My body knows how to heal. My body knows how to heal. I'm going to say a big amen to that, okay? This is exactly what we're doing here. Deep cellular healing. Arcturian energies coming through here as well. That could be a specific message for you as well, starseeds, any guides. And finally, dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Change your energy up. Get into your body. Every time I see that card, I'm like, get grounded, baby. Get into your body and move. Express yourself. Take that first little step. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are.